Welcome to my channel TM Chitra Teacher. In this session, I'll be explaining you the lesson Alchemy of Nature written by Raksha Baratia. So in this lesson, the author speaks about the power of everyday elements of nature, which helps us to transform our lives by giving us the most valuable lessons of life. So besides giving pleasure, nature has lessons for life, as it is up to us what we learn from it and how we implement these lessons. So before I explain you the lesson, let's discuss the activities given in the warming up. The first activity is rearrange the good qualities in each set so that the first letter of each of the words should make a meaningful word. Join the sets and get a message. So from each set, the first alphabet which is underlined has been arranged and we have got a meaningful word, and we could see from the first set we got the word nature, the second is my teacher. So the message we received is nature is my teacher. In the next activity, various aspects of nature have special features that make them differ from one another. So here they have given as an example which is there in the textbook, that is birds. So birds, we differ through their appearance, shape, color, size, food habits, habitat, sound, etc. So we are supposed to write the special features which differentiates for land, water, trees, animals and insects. So I have given over here for your reference and you can refer to it. And the next activity is make a list of living creatures in the alphabetical order, which is already given in the textbook. So you have to do it on your own. You have to write with every alphabet. Like A means it starts with antelope or alligator. So you can write those words. So any living creature's name you can write from which starts from A till Z. Now I'll explain you the lesson Alchemy of Nature. The author begins with 4 lines from William Blake's poem. So let me read the 4 lines. To see a world in a grain of sand and a heaven in a wild flower. Hold infinity in the palm of your hand and eternity in an hour. Written by William Blake. So what is the explanation? So explanation is there in the next paragraph. Something as tiny as a grain of sand can spark off an idea or imagination of a huge significance to the world. Significance means which is more important to the world. So an important idea will arise from a spark. It will be a small event, a small thing would have happened. So one can witness and experience the beauty of heaven in something as small as wildflower and derive joy forever. So great joy we can get from a small flower. So only one should have the eyes and time to see it. So infinity is endless space, but your small palm can hold the destiny of earth through your efforts. So infinity means it's an endless space, but the small hand, the small palm in your hand, that can hold the destiny of the earth through the efforts what we put in. Then eternity is endless time, but just an hour in your life can make a difference to the world forever. So time is endless, but a particular hour is very important in our life. So great deeds can surpass the limits of time and space, so they never die. That means great deeds can surpass means it can do best, it can cross the limits and it can do great things, even there is no limits of time and space for it. So finally what the poet tries to tell in this stanza is that if we can see the secret learning hidden in simple everyday things in nature, then we can transform the world. See, most of the things in nature looks very simple, but it gives a lot of value to it. So as a human we need to try to find the hidden meaning of it, and we can follow those in our life. So now let's see to the lesson. We instinctively turn to outdoor activities and nature as a way of relaxing and enhancing our well-being. So instinctively means it's an inborn pattern. So it's given over here, it's a natural instinct. So it's already we have a pattern of behavior wherein we automatically go to the outdoor activity whenever we feel whenever we want to feel relaxed and enhancing. So nature soothes and nurtures. Soothes is it comforts us. So nature fulfills and motivates, and nature whispers and commands. Are you listening? So the author is asking us a question, are you listening? So this question is asked just not for an answer purpose, but to emphasize that we must listen to the nature. The points which are mentioned above in the earlier paragraph. So we should give an attention to the nature and we should listen and learn the values from it. We have a hibiscus plant in our garden. Every fortnight a flower blooms on it, big, bright and tender. So through the day it smiles with the sun and dances with the wind, but as evening approaches it starts wilting. So the morning after it withers completely. By evening it falls and becomes one with the earth again. That is, wilting means it becomes dry and it drops down. But still you can see the flower whole day. It will be very happy and it lives its life with full splendor. Splendor means very grand life it lives. So what if we too lived our life? However short it might be, let us live to the fullest. So this is what the author tries to tell us. We went to a rocky beach and saw the spread of the majestic ocean, such a huge ocean, and the rocks alongside, carved, sculptured and shaped by the water. Water is so gentle, rocks so hard, yet as the water flows over it every day for years, the rocks gives in, so the shape of the rock changes as per the command of the water. So same like that, our problems are so colossal, that means it's so huge and we are so small, yet we too can persist in the sense we too can be strong, stubborn in our attitude. We can see a small bits of grass peeping through the small cracks in a concrete pavement, that is on the concrete, the strong path. But it left us thinking that however impossible things may look, but there is always an opening. So the grass teaches us that nothing is impossible in this world if we try. We could see a tree bare all leaves in the cold winter months. We thought its chapter was over. But 3 months passed, spring set in, and all the tree was back to its green majesty once again, full of leaves, flowers, birds and life. So what if we too had the conviction? Conviction means the strong belief that however difficult things are right now, it will not remain so forever. Remember, this too shall pass. So the tree teaches us that even this difficult moment will pass very soon and we are going to have a pleasant future. We saw an army of ants carrying heavy things which is more than their 10 times more than their size. So the ants organize themselves around the objects what they lift with the free frailers, that with the weak legs, and they are carried to quite a distance. So we can see the teamwork and the perseverance which were impressive. The perseverance means the constant effort what they take till they achieve their success. So what if we too can be consistent, that is steady, organized and focused? Similarly, spider webs are delicate yet very strong. So here the spider's web is an indicator that delicate structures are not a sign of weakness. A rainbow colors the entire sky. The rainbow teaches us the message that we must spread positivity and beauty in the surrounding where we live in. Oysters take in a grain of sand, they open up with a pearl. So this shows that oysters create something precious like a pearl. So this is again a magic which happens in the nature. The oyster teaches us that when challenges hit us, our response is all that matters. So the sand is turned into something as valuable as a pearl. So similarly, we can face challenges bravely and then turn them into opportunities. Innumerable stars shine across the infinite sky. So the stars symbolizes new beginnings and new opportunities which is always available and we are free to get it. Clouds take new shapes every passing moment, and it gives us the message of acceptance and adjustment. So the clouds teach us to accept and adjust according to the situation, how the water teaches us to adjust in the situation. The wind makes trees dance with unhindered passion, that is without any restrictions. So we could see the power of the wind which is seen in the nature, and which gives the freedom for the trees to dance. Water, without hint of ego, changes its form according to the dictates of the sun and the wind. So the water tries to teach us that to accept change and adjust according to the situation. A caterpillar turned into a butterfly. So it teaches us that not to give up in life, whatever the situation may be, and we must try till we succeed. When we see a flower turn into a fruit, so we experience the magical transforming power of nature. That is a magical way of changing the things. A flower becomes a fruit. We could see the pomegranate fruit here. So it touches us, the nature touches us, and it makes ourselves gold. That means it transforms us into a very positive way. So in this lesson we have seen the things what nature teaches us. So if we do, we learn, and if we implement these lessons, then really we can experience the alchemy of nature. Now let's discuss the questions given in the margin of the lesson. The first question is, explain how the hibiscus flower makes the most of its short lifespan. The hibiscus flower smiles with the sun and dances with the wind. The flower comes to life only for a day, yet it makes the most of the day by giving its short life in full splendor with big, bright and tender blooms. What teaches us that hard times do not last forever? How? The following things teach us that hard times do not last forever. First point is bits of grass peeping through small cracks in a concrete pavement, and the second point is the tree had been bare all through the cold winter months before regaining its former green majesty. The next question is, who is stronger, water or rocks? Justify your answer. So here I have given my response, so you can write your points too. You can add it to your points. I think water is stronger because it wears down the hard rock by its gentle patience, persistence and perseverance. The fourth question is, what role does nature play in our lives? Nature relaxes us and enhances our well-being. It soothes and nurtures us as well as fulfills and motivates us. It also whispers and commands. Now let's discuss the activities given in the warming up session. The first activity is, what things in nature teach us the following. So nothing is impossible to achieve. The small bits of grass peeping from the cracks in the concrete. The next is, problems are not permanent. So the trees that are bare in winter. The next one, be humble and adjust. The water teaches us. Make the best use of time and opportunity. The flowers teach us. Be persistent. Rock and water teaches us. Many bands make light work. Ants. And delicate structures are not a sign of weakness. The spider webs teaches us this. Read the questions from the lesson. What do they imply? So are you listening? So this question implies that one must listen. So what if we too lived our lives, however short, to its fullest? So this implies that we too should live our lives to the fullest, however short they may be. So what if we too are consistent, organized, focused? So it implies that we too could do wonders if we were consistent, organized and focused. So go through the lesson again and complete the flowchart that highlights the life of a hibiscus flower. So first is it blooms, second is wilts, third is withers and fourth it falls. So this is a flowchart. Next is fill in the web. What do nature do for human beings? So whatever nature does, it's mentioned over here. It again has been taken from the lesson. So you can use this for your reference. The writer explains the contrasting features of water and rock in the lesson. Write all the features of both water and rock in the given table. So one side we have written the features of water, on the other side we have written the features of rock. So you can use this for your reference. So the next is the writer has very positively described the different things in nature. Discuss with your partner the special features of each one of them, add on the list. So we have everything, whatever the writer has used in the lesson, the parts of nature has been mentioned here. Like first is a rainbow. A rainbow special feature is cheerfulness as well as acceptance. So even what is a value we have learned from that is, even when there are problem in the surroundings, we must be cheerful and spread color and happiness. So the second example, the part of nature is caterpillar. So it shows us the special feature is patience and acceptance. So there is a bright and beautiful future ahead. So it represents, that's a value we could learn from this. Then from a hibiscus flower, optimism and cheerfulness. Because however short life may be, we must live into the fullest. So the next, rocks. So rocks will, the special feature what it has is obedience to nature and adjustment, humility. So obey the commands of nature, adjust to the situation, be humble. This is the value we learn from this. Next is the bits of grass. That is the feature what we, special feature is optimism as well as perseverance. So however impossible things may look, there is an opening. So bare tree. So what does this teaches us is optimism, faith and conviction. So however difficult things are in the present, it will not remain so forever. With conviction, we should remain ourselves that this too will pass. The next last one is the part of nature is water. So water's special feature is perseverance, then determination and humility. So what does the water teach us? What value does it teach us is even colossal problems can be surmounted if we persist. That is, colossal means the problems may look huge, but if you are strong and stubborn with your attitude, then even you can cross any kind of problem. So learn to adapt to others without any hint of ego. So these are the things we can learn from these part of nature. Think and answer in your own words. How should you deal with difficulties and problems? So when coming across problems in life, we should turn towards nature for inspiration. You should try to understand how the different elements in nature deal with their difficulties and try to solve the problems in the same way. The next question is, an oyster turns a grain of sand into a pearl. What can we learn from this example? So we can learn that there is a mysterious power or magic in nature that can change things dramatically. The next question is, how does nature succeed in its alchemy? So what can it turn a small person into? So nature succeeds in its alchemy by changing things in a mysterious way. It can turn a small person into anything he or she wishes. One touches nature and become gold oneself. The next question is, which two aspects of nature teach us to accept change and adjust according to the situation? So the answer is, with gentle humility, water changes its form according to the dictates of the sun and the wind. The bare trees wait patiently during the winter months for the arrival of spring. When they get fresh green leaves, these two aspects of nature teach us to accept change and adjust according to the situation. The next question is, why does the writer begin by quoting the lines from William Blake's poem? These lines show that if we are willing to learn, there is much beauty in nature that we can learn from it. The write-up expands on the idea that we can find a whole lot of revelation in the smallest of things in nature. The next activity is pick out from the lesson 10 examples of each. So we could find, we are supposed to find the example of concrete nouns, that is you can touch or see, and the abstract nouns that we cannot touch but we cannot see, but we can just feel it. So first let us see to the examples of concrete nouns from the lesson. Already they have given the example sand, so we have added some more examples for you. Bird, ant, oyster, pearl, caterpillar, butterfly, flower, ocean, rock, water. So these are the things, objects which you could see and you could touch also. So we call this as concrete nouns. So let us see to the abstract nouns which you can't touch or see, just you can feel it. So the first example they have already given is infinity. So we have added some more examples like majesty, conviction, perseverance, passion, infinity, imagination, joy, significance, experience, difference. So these all can be felt but can't be seen or touched. The next activity is underline the verbs in the sentences below and say whether they are transitive, that is needing an object, or intransitive, that is need not have an object. So the first sentence is one can witness and experience the beauty of heaven. So in this sentence, one is a subject, can is a verb, witness and experience. Can, that is can witness, can is an auxiliary verb. So can witness and can experience. So these are the verbs. The beauty of heaven is the object. So as these can witness and can experience, these verbs have an object. So these verbs are called as a transitive verb. The next one, it leaves me in complete awe. Again, it is a subject, leaves, me. Leaves is a verb and me is the object. So leaves, this verb is a transitive verb because this verb has an object followed by it. Nature soothes and nurtures. Nature is a subject, soothes and nurtures both are verbs. But in this sentence we don't have an object following the verb. So these verbs are called as intransitive. In the next sentence, it withers completely. So it is a subject, withers is a verb and completely is an adverb, but we don't have an object here. So this verb is also called as an intransitive verb. So the flower comes to life only for a day. So here the flower is a subject, comes to life only for a day, but we don't have a proper object over here. So comes is a verb without an object, so it's called as an intransitive verb. A rainbow colors the entire sky. A rainbow is a subject, colors is the verb. The entire sky. So we have an object followed by the verb. So this verb is called as transitive verb. So it smiles and dances. It is a subject, smiles and dances. Both are verb. But we don't have an object here. So these two verbs are called as intransitive verbs. So next we have an activity wherein we have to prepare a fact file of any of the following plants or trees using the points given. Like coconut, neem, basil, cactus or apple. Out of which you can select anyone. I have chosen coconut tree. So this is how the fact file must be written. So based on the points which are given in the textbook, the points like name of plant or tree, then scientific name, region and climate, features, growth, size, shape and color, then uses and the special features. So I have mentioned here all these points. You can use this for your reference. The next activity is impossible. Itself says I am possible. So do you agree? Justify your answer by citing something that you have experienced or heard from someone. So I have just given this answer for your reference from my point of view. So taking this as an example, you can make your own answer too. Yes, I agree. It is possible to do the most difficult of things providing we have the will and conviction to do so. So the example that comes to my mind as justification is that of Sudha Chandran, the dancer. So though her leg was amputated below the knee, with great grit and determination, she restarted dancing and went on to become a famous dancer and actress. This shows that one can do things which seem to be impossible. So our next activity is going to be a news report. We have to write it on the Environment Day celebrated in your school. So I have given you this example. So how to write a report? First, heading is important. So the heading is Environment Day celebration. So we have to mention the place and the date, and then we will start with the report. World Environment Day was celebrated in New Era School with great fanfare on June 5. The main purpose of this celebration was to spread awareness about the need to protect the environment and the ways to do it. So the day was flagged off by a tree plantation drive in the locality. 300 quick growing trees which do not need much water on a daily basis were planted near the school wall and in the surrounding area. An eminent environmentalist, Mr. A.T. Ali, spoke on the ways to protect the environment. He also judged the posters and photographs exhibition and gave away prizes for the best entries. Environmental friendly articles like disposable plates and cups made from bamboo and banana stem, then bags made from leaf waste, etc., were on sale. Students gave PowerPoint presentations on the threats to the environment. Last but not least, there was the spirited debate on the topic man, the worst enemy of the environment. All in all, the day was a great success and has certainly made a difference to the way we view our environment. This article has been written by the student reporter.